Hello, my people. My name is Michael2304, and a few days ago I went to see Dream Theater play live in Plovdiv. And now that I have already seen them play live, I think it's the perfect time to rank their albums. Let me move the camera a bit to show you how the tier list will look like. You can see all their albums from When a Day in Dream Unite in 1989 to Parasomnia 2025. And we also included a change of seasons here. Let's start. The first album we're gonna rank is their first studio album, When a Day in Dream Unite. Released in 1989, it has Charlie Dominici on vocals, which is one of the reasons why people do not listen to the album, because since the other albums have Labrie on vocals, this album just feels weird to listen to. You can make a fortune in life. You can keep a giant alive. But to me, it's not a very bad album. It has some good tracks like Afterlife, Yetse Jam, The Ones Who Help Set the Sun, Fortune and Lies, and Another Hand, which I think is my favorite one. So I think it deserves a solid spot in B. The second one, Images and Words. Released in 1992, this album is the one that made Dream Theaters famous. And this album has very good tracks. Pomeander is their most famous one. Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper is an amazing composition. It has Take the Time, which in my opinion is my favorite track from the album. It also has Learning to Live, which is, I think, one of the hardest songs to sing due to that part where James hits the high F sharp. But it has Around It, which when I listen to it, I feel like that's one picture of Piper Potty sitting on a white sofa, and in the back she's surrounded by black so I don't think it deserves S, but it deserves, in my opinion, a solid A. The next one, Awake. It's like Images and Words, but heavier. It's their first album, which has extended range basses and guitars. It's the first album where John Mayung started using exclusively 6 strings on his bass, and John Petrucci has decided to put a 7th string on his guitar, and you can hear the 7 strings on The Mirror, Lie, and Caught in a Web, which in my opinion, Caught in the Web is an amazing track with amazing vocals. Also on the second verse, those vocals were amazing. And one of my favorite songs from this album is Lifting Shadows of a Dream, because as a huge fan of John Mayung, and knowing that this song is written by Mayank, and the bass is the lead instrument in that song. I really like it, and I think it also deserves a spot in A tier, but after Images and Words. In my opinion, Awake is better than Images and Words. The next record, A Change of Seasons. Released a year after Awake, it's a single, which is A Change of Seasons, which was supposed to be a track in Images and Words, but the record label didn't allow it. So they decided to release an EP with the single A Change of Seasons and a few covers, which are recorded as live versions. But we're gonna talk only about the song A Change of Seasons because it's a studio recorded song, and all the albums here are studio albums, and it's an amazing song. It has amazing solos and some that are extremely underrated, like a lot of people like the song in the solo in Another World, but my favorite solo is the solo after Another World. Yeah, I think it was the Inevitable Summer. It's an amazing solo, which I don't know why people have neglected it that much. It shouldn't have been that underrated. It's an amazing solo, and I think this record deserves an S tier. Next one is Falling into Infinity. Under skies, yes, regret falling waves. Story unfolds in your eyes. Midnight hysterias, no big surprise. This is another album that I think people have overhated it throughout the time, maybe because the record label wanted it to be more commercial, but it still has some great songs like New Millennium, Peruvian Skies, Hell's Kitchen, and Lines in the Sand, which I think those two are perfect to be in one song. It also has Trial of Tears, which in my opinion is my favorite, maybe because it's written again by Mayank, but it's still beautiful track. As always, Mayank always writes beautiful songs, and I think this album deserves an A tier, but after, no after, before Images and Words. I'm sorry. But Derek Sherinian wasn't as good as Moore. The next one, it's Metropolis Part 2, Sins from a Memory. This is the first album with Jordan Rudess on keys, and it's a very interesting album. I understand why a lot of people love this album. This is a concept album, uh, which is a continuation of the song Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper, which I know that it was written as a joke, the Part 1, but now they got the idea to write the Part 2, and they made it a full album, which I know that it was supposed to be a part of Falling into Infinity, but due to the label wanting to be commercial, it was cut out. And the Metropolis Part 2 tells a story about a guy named Nicholas who found out he was a woman named Victoria Page in his previous life, and he found out that that woman was murdered by her husband because she cheated on him with his brother. And that story has made a lot of amazing songs like Strange Deja Vu, Beyond This Life, I think it's my favorite, The Dance of Eternity, which is one of the hardest songs ever recorded in the history of music, in my opinion, which has 108 time signatures. It has also beautiful songs like Through Her Eyes and The Spirit Carries On, which I think, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful songs that Dream Theater have ever written. And also Home, which is the heaviest song of the whole album, and I think it deserves its love, and it's going on S tier. The next one, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. Released in 2002, this is an amazing album. I don't know why people don't say it that much, but this one is an amazing gem. Let's say it that way. It has mostly long songs like Prison, Great Debate, Blind Faith, and Misunderstood. And also, let's not forget the 42-minute epic, which is the title track of this album, which is split in, I think, 8 tracks. My favorite one of these is The Test That Stumped Them All. It's just so fast and so dramatic. It just, how can I say, it blows my mind. And then 2 tracks later you get Solitary Shell, which is a very catchy rock song in my opinion, with a beautiful solo which sounds like music you could hear in like a authentic Italian pizza shop, but it's the thing that makes it, but that's the thing it makes the solo good. So the album is amazing in my opinion. It deserves a spot behind Scenes from a Memory on the S tier. Next one, Train of Thought. Train of Thought, released in 2003, is I think the most heaviest album uh, in the Dream Theater discography. It just heavy banger after heavy banger after heavy banger after heavy banger after heavy banger and so on. It's just banger after banger after banger. Just amazing. I mean, you start with As I Am, then you go to This Dying Soul, then to Endless Sacrifice, Honor Thy Father, Vacant and Stream of Consciousness, because those two are connected, and then you top it all off with a very long and very serious track, In the Name of God. Also, a very interesting fact, none of these songs' guitars are tuned to a 6-string standard E tuning. All of the songs here are either in C, D, or B standard, which is also a very interesting fact, and it will go on the S tier, but after a change of seasons. Next one, Octavarium. Damn, this album is by far my favorite album of all of Dream Theater's music. It just has a lot of tracks. How can I say? I when I listen to it, I feel like Dream Theater have decided to expand their comfort zone, not get out of it, but expand it and make a lot of music, a lot of different music, because it has a lot of tracks which the previous albums do not have the same type of. Like, The Answer Lies Within, it's a very light and slow song, which I don't know any other album that has the same type. You have Panic Attack, which is very fast and very stressful, let's say it that way. You have Octavarium, which is just 24 minutes of full madness and beauty. And how can I say, it's just amazing. I think it deserves the best spot in the tier list, which is after Train of Thought in the S tier, right here. Next one, Systematic Chaos. After Octavarium and the Octavarium tour, the band decided to take a summer break, like from April to the autumn of 2006. And when they got back in the studio, they have decided to write something more to their style, which, how can I say, it's like a refreshment from all the madness that was written from 1600 Degrees of Turbulence to Octavarium. And it has a lot of beautiful tracks like In the Presence of Enemies, both parts, Forsaken, Constant Motion. It's a very interesting track in my opinion. Just, how can I say, it feels like I'm listening to Metallica, but if they knew more than their simple shit. And my favorite track from this album is The Dark Eternal Night. I think it's perfectly rated by everyone. That song is an amazing and heavy and just groundbreaking track. It's just amazing. It also has a very sad side, that album, like Repentance, which it's very melancholic song, and it's also interesting the way it was recorded. It had a lot of artists like Dave Ellefson, Steve Vai, Steven Wilson, Corey Taylor, uh, and that guy from Opets. I forgot his name. If of if an Opet fan is watching this video, please write in the comment section how is it, because I'm too ashamed to search it. So yeah, but this album is an amazing album, but it's not as amazing as Octavarium, Train of Thought, Change of Seasons, and Metropolis Part 26 Degrees, but it's still good, so it deserves a spot in a tier between Images and Words and Falling into Infinity. The next album, Black Clouds and Silver Linux. This album is the last of a great era, released in 2009. It was a very touching album, heart touching album. It just, how can I say it? It's like a conclusion to a story with songs like The Best of Times, The Chartered Fortress, The Count of Tuscany. Those songs are very, how can I say, songs that have a lot of serious meanings inside them, and this, how can I say, it's just an amazing album. It also has some shorter songs like Rite of Passage and Weather, which I think are also amazing, especially Rite of Passage. I was happy to see them playing it live in Plovdiv. It was an amazing track to hear, and I think it deserves a spot in the S tier, but behind 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. The next album, Dramatic Turn of Events. This album, released in 2011, is the first album after Mike Portnoy left the band in 2010, and it's with Mike Mangini on drums. It has a lot of tracks like Breaking All Illusions, Build Me Up, Break Me Down, On the Backs of Angels, which in my opinion, I think it deserved the spot in, I think it deserved the Grammy Award more than the Mastodon track that won it. And it's just an amazing album, but I think it more deserves A than S. The next one, the self-titled. This album is also very good, but not very touchy in my opinion. It didn't touch me that much. It just was a good album, but it didn't impress me a lot. It did have good tracks indeed, like Enemy Side and Illumination Theory, but I haven't been very impressed by it, so I think it deserves a solid B tier, but after When a Daydream Unite, so it's on the better spot. The next one is Astonishing.
How the rumors are spreading like mines of a man who has been glorified. News finds its way to the empire one day, where the envious ruler resides.
A lot of people have put it in E or D, and in my opinion is a bit overhated. I know it's long as shit, like over 2 hours of songs that are under 8 minutes, and it's also filled with filler songs. I once decided to go through the whole album, but when I passed the second third of the album, I went to take a shit, and then 10 minutes got back to listen to the rest of the album, and that shows you how much of wasted time was spent on that album to be written. I think it would be better if it was a little bit more short, like a more normal album, because it's not the thing, it's not the fact that it's concept album that it made the people hate it. Metropolis Part 2 is a concept album and everyone loved it, but it's the fact that it's just overhyped, and it was, how can I say, too long, too much time was wasted on it, and it may have some cool songs and cool motifs that have been repeated throughout the album, but I don't think it deserves S or A. I think it deserves the lowest spot in B tier. Next one is Distance Over Time. This album is right after the Astonishing. I think it was an attempt to try to hide what was this thing, the Astonishing, and the songs here were still short, but they weren't sounding like filler songs, and they were actually more enjoyable. It has a lot of great songs, which some of them are also written by John Mayung, like Fall Into the Light and S2N. And I think it's a great track, but in my opinion, it deserves the middle spot between Falling Into Infinity and On the Backs of Angels in the A tier. Next album, A view from the top of the world. This is the last album from the Mangini era. It's actually the album that has brought the Grammy Award of 2022 to Dream Theater from their song The Alien. It's also a very, how can I say, a good album, but not very unique in my opinion. Like, The Alien is good. I won't argue. Invincible Monster was good too. But I think it just recycled, in my opinion. Like, it's just the same format, but with nothing interesting. So I don't think it deserves S, but I think it will be perfect between Systematic Chaos and Falling into Infinity right here, to be put. And the final album, Parasomnia. This is after Portnoy got back in the band, released a few months ago, this year, 2025. It's an amazing album. It has brought the old spirit of Dream Theater back. It has very interesting songs. Like, my favorite one from this album is Dead Asleep. I don't know, it just hit me. Like, it just hit me the way that the old albums can hit me in the heart, which is very good. It's also the transitions with the sound effects between the songs and the repeating motifs from it kind of remind me of Octobarium a bit, so that's also a great thing. But the production in it sounds like it's half human made and half AI. The AI is mostly about the visual stuff, which kinda annoys me a bit. So I will put it between images and words and systematic chaos here. This is my tier list here. I think some people would argue with me, but this is just my opinion. And yes, that's it. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you really did, you can comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.